5, episode 62 of Prickles, Bubbles, and Fistulers. I am Sam Featherman. That is Jonathan Lidskin, comrade. That is comrade Nick Lawrence. Folks, how are we doing today?
What a day. What a day.
What an
don't
insane
understand
day
that.
on college basketball Twitter.
I don't know. I don't understand it. You Big East people are something else.
Big East Twitter. There's nothing like it.
Oh my God.
All right.
Omaha, somewhere in Middle America, maybe Middle Russia. Who knows?
Omaha, somewhere in Siberia. This is the mid-major show, mid-major Thursday. So we have Nick Lawrence in here, the mastermind behind the Mid-Major Madness Twitter account. Obviously, Jonathan is with us. Jonathan, why are you looking away?
I'm watching San Francisco Gonzaga. Why else?
That's ball knowledge. Yeah. Anyway, Nick.
That's cut there.
I feel like we should start with New Mexico, by the way. People have been asking for it.
Yeah, we probably should start with New Mexico.
Which is, the Lobos are so good. I mean, no one wants to talk about it. Like,
I've expressed
them in St. Mary's.
Actually, I would like to talk about the Lobos because I've been on the Lobos for a while. It's just we haven't really talked about it, so I haven't really been able to talk about how much I like this team. I think this is a job, honestly, for Richard Pitino, that like this is his level. This is his job. This is a job that he can be New Mexico's, like, he can retire there, or maybe not retire there, but like he can coach another 15, 20 years there, and he won't face a ton of pressure because he's good enough to win in the Mountain West. And he can make consistent tournaments. And I just think that he has the ability to, like, his teams have always, I've felt, been better offensively. Meanwhile, this year, this team is significantly better defensively than they have been in my eyes. And they have impact players up and down the roster. Obviously, we know how good Donovan Dent is. He's one of the best players in the country. But True Washington has taken a big step forward. Nelly Jr. Joseph has taken a big step forward. Mustafa Amzil is producing this year. They hit at least somewhat on Borovikinen. He's been helpful. Applehands has been helpful. Dotson's been helpful. Nolan's been helpful. Like, there are playmakers on this team, and they all make plays because of how good Dent is and because of how the floor opens up with a guy like Dent. And then Nelly is everywhere on the glass, and these guys are really long and athletic of perimeter guards that can really hound the basketball.
Yeah, the thing about them for a couple of years was even when he was at Minnesota, Richard Pitino was like, we can't win in February. They couldn't win in February. Last year, they kind of showed a little bit different, and they ended up winning in March. They won the conference tournament, and they ended up. I thought they were going to be Clemson. I thought they were going to make the Elite Eight or whatever. They got absolutely smoked, but they made the NCAA tournament. Now they've won 7 straight. They are one of the hottest teams in college basketball. They should be up there with St. Mary's. I think both of them should be ranked. And obviously, they have Donovan Dent in their backcourt, CJ Nolan. They have some True Washington. They have some really nice pieces. But I think that depth in the front court's what's a real difference maker for them. You don't get all that much in mid-major basketball, and that could really pay dividends in March. Obviously, with Nelly Jr. Joseph, he's been one of the most impactful big men in all mid-major basketball. Mustafa Amzil's been great for a couple of years. Philip Borovishian, he's been great. Even Atiki Eliatika, when they need someone to come in and kill a couple of minutes, he's really, really solid there on the defensive end. He's played big-time basketball before.
And
that depth in the front court, I just think.
The impressive thing for me is what they're getting out of Jovan Milicevic right now, the freshman from Toronto. He scored 10 points in 23 minutes against Wyoming, hit 3 threes. They can get
Big block.
They can get good minutes.
Oh, never mind. That
What'd you
wasn't him.
say?
Never mind. That wasn't him.
If they can get minutes from him off the bench, and they can get minutes from a Tiki off the bench, and they can get minutes from Nelly off the bench, not Nelly off the bench, and they can get minutes from Apple Hands off the bench. There's a lot of depth here. There's a lot of depth. This is a team that they don't play a ton of guys. They don't play a ton of bench guys a ton of minutes, but that's because their starting lineup is that good. They have the ability to go to a different 3, a different 4.
They could very well be unbeaten in conference play too. I've talked about it many times before. San Jose State is a super difficult place to play when you're playing in that league, and every single game sold out, raucous crowd. Then you go over there and there's like 15 people in the stands, and you are playing on that weird court. They go over there, they lose by 1, but they're 10-1 conference play. Otherwise, they beat Utah State at Utah State. They absolutely obliterated them a couple weeks ago. They were up 20-some points there in the closing minutes. So yeah, I really think this New Mexico team is the real deal. I thought they had a really talented bunch last year, but that depth in the front court is just really impressive. And they beat UCLA to begin the season. They battled St. John's for quite a bit. And now when I watched it at the beginning of the season, I'm like, oh, maybe they're going to struggle a little bit. They're struggling with St. John's, but you look at St. John's now, and they're just a great basketball team. So
Yeah,
I'm really liking what I'm seeing.
I just think that they've done such a good job developing internally. They didn't take a ton of guys in the portal that have been major impact guys for them. Obviously, Noland and Phillip are the big contributors for them through the portal, but you lose House, you lose Mashburn, you lose Toppin. They just did a really good job of trusting their internal development, and I'm really glad that True Washington's had a good year because he was on my breakout list in the offseason. But like I said last year, everything for this team starts and ends with Donovan Dent. He's just such an underrated point guard, and it's a shame that New Mexico's games are in some of the time zones that they are because people do not get to see him as often as they should. He's legitimately one of the best 5 point guards in the country from a playmaking aspect.
Jonathan, are we talking about a Kemba candidate?
Huh?
Are we talking about a Kemba candidate?
Oh, I think so. Yeah, I think thought he was going to be one of them last year, but unfortunately, first round didn't really go their way. Clemson was playing well.
That's one way to put it. That's one way to put it.
Yeah, I was trying to be a little nice there.
They were down like 20 in the first 5 minutes.
I hate Clemson. I cheer for the Mountain West so hard. That's like the worst thing possible.
I think they have a real chance at redemption because of their guard play. And Nick, like you said, their front court depth is just great. And I should add, by the way, that like they're going to do probably like they've continued to churn out really good guards between House, Mashburn, now Dent, and True Washington. Cade Dotson's going to be another one in the future that is very, very good for this program.
Yes, and I like you. If you hold on to like Cade Dotson, True Washington, Braden Applehands, Jovan Milicevic next year, that's 4 guys that can really play.
Yeah, speaking of Mashburn, I don't want to get off too far on the deep end right now. He came back the other night against Tulsa and they lost. Temple's really struggling right now.
Yeah, we could
back
have
in the fold.
We've been hearing a lot about the Owls, the Temple University Owls from one person in particular.
That's brutal. Is it Patrick Dallahan?
No, it's Patrick Dallahan's evil twin.
Is it evil twin at Temple?
No, he is the evil twin.
It is Patrick Dallahan. All right.
Yeah, I was going to go there on Sunday. I ain't going there.
Sam, should we start getting into some of these questions?
I want to just go over see if there's any games from tonight that we want to go over. You got anything?
Sam Houston State beat Jacksonville State.
That was big. One for me. UNC Wilmington destroys Charleston.
I was not impressed when I saw Charleston. We've been talking about the CAA a lot on here. I was not impressed when I saw Charleston at William and Mary.
Shout out,
They just don't
Matt.
run much.
Yeah. Shout out
Yeah,
Mac legend Harlan Obioha for 16 and 12 in the win.
I was watching him at the free throw line. The name's not going to hit the top of my head right now. Kid was at Charleston. I believe he was also at NC State. Really, really big kid. Takeo Siddle kind of likes those guys that are gaining a little bit of mass on their body, and he does well with that. But they're one of the hotter teams in the country as well.
11 and 2.
UNCW,
9 in a row. Their only
9 in a
losses
row.
in CAA play are by 4 in overtime and by 9.
Yeah, one of those is Towson.
Sorry, and by 3. And by 3, not by 9.
But he's just
they're good.
He's one of those guys who I guess he's never gotten over the hump. Made the NCAA tournament.
Man, I don't know.
UNCW is a pretty solid job.
I don't know who's like the feel good story like to get over the hump in the tournament in the CAA this year. Is it Campbell with the Sinani storyline? Is it William and Mary with Brian Earl in the NMTC? Is it Towson with Scary having never made it? Is it Wilmington with Siddle having never made it?
I really want to be on the Campbell
or
bus
is it
tonight.
Monmouth who started the season so badly and now they're 7 and 6?
I really do love just the talent on that Monmouth team.
Or is it Chris Mack? It's probably not Chris Mack, but maybe it's Chris Mack.
But Towson.
I would love to see like if Northeastern figures it out or Hofstra figures it out.
Northeastern has a great bunch. I tweeted out earlier today. Hofstra might play on the first day of the CAA tournament.
Dude, they're 4-9.
Speedy said that if they don't get any tougher, they're going to lose every single game in the CAA.
Yeah, they're 4-9.
But they're not a team you want to play on day 2 of the CAA tournament.
They're in 12 out of 14.
If you finish in 5th, which obviously you have to play another game, that already sucks. But if you have to play another game and it's against Hofstra, you're going to be pretty pissed off. Campbell lost tonight. Their 7-game winning streak was snapped at Northeastern at Matthews Arena, a very tough place to play. I think that injury is actually going to impact them pretty hard.
No
we were
doubt.
Talking about it last week, though. I think McGeehan's doing an awesome job with what he has, and it's been awesome to see Bowie's Creek kind of rally around them, and they have something to cheer for. But I would love to see Towson get over the hump. I would love to see King Rice do it. I would love to see UNCW finally do it. What I was going to say is I can't believe that Takeo Siddle hasn't gotten a bigger job, but UNCW is a pretty nice job to begin with. I mean, you're living in Wilmington, you're getting a lot of money, and everything's pretty nice over there. But like, I could see him, maybe getting Virginia Tech coming up here if they make the NCAA tournament. Virginia Tech opens up, so. There's some really good teams in the CAA and Summit League. Say it every week. Those are 2 leagues that are behind paywalls that I wish more people would be able to watch because there's some really, really good teams in those leagues.
All right. Let's move on to questions. This is going to be the rest of our show right here.
Portland beat Oregon State, by the way. That's a horrible loss for Oregon State. Portland's bad.
First thing I want to go over, I did get a couple responses on Blue Sky.
Never been on there.
What?
Stand Strong, never been on there.
All right, so it's actually 4 questions, and they're all from Rocco Miller.
Really now?
Let's go.
Yes.
I saw Rocco commented on our Twitter thing. I miss Rocco. I haven't seen him since November.
Yeah, I haven't seen Rocco in 2 years.
2 years too long. Maybe I'll have you run into him during the Final Four.
Hopefully he comes over to Newark, but isn't there something in San Francisco this year?
I don't know, but I did ask to work Newark too, so I'll be there with you.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Wow, it'll be me, you, and Riley. I mean, I'm probably going to be with Jaden that weekend, though.
as we watch St. John's and
I'm actually
all
only
the
going to be
Power
there
5
Saturday.
schools.
I'm actually only going to be there Saturday. So, all right. He says, which 3 teams will miss the MAC tournament? Opining on the MAC gets me in trouble. So,
Why?
Nick?
You're talking about the MAC with 2 A's.
The only MAC that matters.
There's like 6 teams that miss the MAC with 1 A tournament. Obviously, Canisius. St. Peter's has been that bad.
Yeah.
They're 2-10.
I had no clue. I thought that was like Niagara down there. Niagara did win the other night. Greg Paulus needs to make. Yeah, Greg Paulus needs to make that tournament. I heard that he's on the hot seat right now.
Really?
Yeah.
Where did you hear that?
From an agent.
I do not buy it.
I didn't hear anything about it. I thought that was a little bit out. That was the most out there one I've probably heard.
I do not buy Greg. Like, Greg Paulus is not on the hot. Like, look, I have not heard a peep out of Niagara. Like, just to say this, I talked to a good amount of people that have knowledge around the MAC. Not a single one has even mentioned Paulus's name.
Really?
Like, in that context, really ever. He's never been on the hot seat. Like,
yeah, I thought that.
What money are they buying him out with? And then who are they hiring?
That would be someone where they would need to know who they're hiring. Yeah, it's not like they're going to pull someone from like Bonaventure staff, or there's no one at Buffalo right now.
I mean, like, the Damon coach is like doing really well, but like he coached at Canisius 25 years ago and was bad for like 8 years.
He was the head coach at Canisius.
Mike McDonald.
I don't. All right, let's look. No more Damon talk. I don't even know where Damon is. Is that Buffalo?
Damon's in Buffalo. Yes.
Are they the Wildcats?
I think something like that. Maybe like the Bearcats.
There's something like that. All right, but I guess St. Peter's, like, on the season.
Yes, Damon is undefeated this season. They're 21.
What's that? D3?
D2.
D2. Canisius, they're awful. I guess St. Peter's. I didn't realize they were that bad.
I wouldn't put winning 4 or 5 in a row by them, honestly.
You know a lot more. I barely watch the MAC. I'll let you do all the talking. I'll just retweet your stuff and I'll let you talk about it. I watch Merrimack every once in a while. I'll watch Marist every once in a while. I'll listen to Adam Pohl talk.
Yes.
But like
you'll listen to him sing. He doesn't talk, he sings.
Yeah.
Are those 4 or 5 in a row that St. Peter's could win? Is that scoring 70 points once, twice in that 5-game winning streak?
That's high.
I'm gonna go 0. I've watched them do that.
45-37 against Ryder.
Yeah.
No, Merrimack.
They also scored 46 against Quinnipiac earlier this year.
Yeah, I mean, I've watched them win a MAC tournament scoring 50, 62, and 68. So
I saw Ryder. I think Ryder's the only team I've seen in the league. Wasn't impressed with them.
Yeah, they
don't make it.
They were ass that day.
Yeah, I'm not all too sold on them. Congrats to Kevin Baggett for winning his 200th game. He's only the second coach behind the great Joe Malik, who I have the honor to work with every day.
Will Dartmouth
Niagara University.
Will Dartmouth do the unthinkable and make Ivy madness?
They have a 2-game lead last time I checked.
Yes, they do.
4th to 5th place.
And they've already gone on the road to Yale and Cornell.
Yeah, which is very helpful. I think this could be the year. I could see a team like Harvard getting hot, and I think I really love
it. Would be Brown. It would be Brown.
Well, yeah, Keno, Lilly, but they did that last year.
Brown has 5 home games left.
Out of 7.
Out of 7. And the 2 road games are Harvard and Dartmouth. Brown could legitimately go like 6-1.
I really wanted them to make. If they would have made March Madness last year with that record, that would have been awesome. And Keno, Lilly, they would have won their first 4 games, and they would have scored like 70, 80 points against the 1 seed.
I think. Now. Oh wait, Lewis did play against Columbia. Okay, because Landon Lewis missed 3 games. But if like I would not be totally shocked if Brown went 5-2 or 6-1 in their next 7 games. Because look, they have to play everybody. Most teams do at this point, I believe, but they have to go. But they get Princeton, Penn, Columbia, Cornell all at home, then Harvard, Dartmouth away, and Yale at home to end the season. Probably 2 losses, most likely. Like they're good enough. Like they already picked off Cornell. They're good enough to beat Princeton. They're good enough to beat Cornell. I don't know if anyone's good enough to beat Yale right now.
Yale's unreal. They're just absolutely blown out.
I mean, the way that they're playing right now, nobody's going to beat them.
No.
And
which is going to make it even more crazier when
gone on the road and won at Princeton and at Cornell already. So there's that. Will the regression monster ever hit the Omaha Mavs? Well, Rocco, yes. Do I have some news for you?
Yeah, that was pretty dominant tonight by South Dakota State. We talked about it last week. They're just so young, and Hendo does a great job retaining his talent, and they have a really good bunch. Oscar Clough, he had his 6th 20 and 15 game today. The only other player in the country to do that's Janai Brown.
That was one of Sam's good shout-outs from the offseason that he doesn't take enough credit for.
Who, Oscar Clough?
I was talking about, I was like, dude, Oscar Clough at South Dakota State is going to dominate the Summit League. He has been better than I like. This was like great. I thought Great Osobor would be really good at Utah State. I did not expect him to be I did not expect him to be a player of the year. I expected Clough to be a player of the year candidate. I did not expect him to average like 17 and 13.
He's running away with it. Like it's not even like
not even a contest. He's averaging 16.9, 12.4, 2.8 assists on 65% from the field. Like
he's second in the country in rebounding.
This was a guy who averaged 7 and 4 at a Pac-12 team that made the NCAA tournament last year. Why is he in the Summit League?
Is he from South Dakota?
No, he's from Queensland. He's from Australia.
Oh. That's crazy. That like the other craziest part about that is Jackson Money is like one of the most best all-around players in the country. And Oscar Clough just blows him out of the water.
Jackson Money rocks.
He does. Better. Yeah, it's just crazy. And they got him, and then they got Jakari White. They got picked up a big win tonight,
dude.
Against Oral Roberts, came from behind.
Clough went for 23 on 14 shots. At North Dakota State, Money went for 19 on 20 shots. Clough had 15 rebounds. Money had 8. South Dakota State won that game by 10.
Big one on Saturday in the Summit League, 8 o'clock. Omaha, St. Thomas are tied in first place at St. Thomas. That beautiful offense of Johnny Towers against that Omaha team. See, that's the biggest test for really Rocco. If they win that one, there's a good chance that they will end up going to the where's the point? It's somewhere in South Dakota. I forget whatever that city's called.
Sioux Falls.
Sioux Falls. And they'll be the 1 seed. And they'll probably lose the 8 seed. That's just how I look at it. I'm not that sold.
I don't know what's going to happen in the Summit League tournament. I think that's going to be a wild week.
I think it will be one of the best tournaments in the country.
Yeah, and that brings us into our next question from Dean Wendell. Shout out Dean. Does a really
Sunday.
What did you say?
Saw him on Sunday.
Yes, I
Made
saw
sure
him
to
at Mohegan
stop and
Sun earlier this year, and then I ran into him at Army, just like completely randomly. He was there, which was awesome.
it's crazy.
Then, so we have top 3 most electric mid-major conference tournaments this year. Give me the Summit League. Give me the Summit League.
The 2 of the leagues we already talked about, Summit
Give me
League,
the Summit League,
CAA.
the A-Sun, and I mean the Valley.
Yeah.
I got to give it to the Valley because of the aura.
I was gonna say Horizon League too.
Yeah,
It feels like that
Well,
tournament is.
I know someone who won't be there.
It feels like that tournament is just a complete guessing game every year.
Someone really good is going to have to play an extra game as like the 5 seed, and they're going to have to play IU Indy. And I actually think that could be like a test. It could be like Milwaukee. Milwaukee will have to play IU Indy in the quarterfinals. Or no, that would be the first round. In the first round, and they'll win by like 4. But I do agree with the Summit League. I think the CAA is going to be up there. A-Sun will probably be up there because there's like 6-7 teams that could win that conference tournament. And you know the greatest thing about the A-Sun is it's all campus sites. Jacksonville right now, they're the 1 seed. I would be on cloud 9 if they had to do a nationally televised game, conference tournament title game at Swisher Gym. That place is so tiny and it's so beautiful. It's like the greatest place to watch a basketball game. And then it'll probably be at like 2:00 in the afternoon, so the sun's going to shine right through, and you're not going to be able to see anything on the court. That's what makes college basketball beautiful.
Yes, I love that.
Amazing.
Jonathan, what do you think? Oh, you said the Horizon.
Yeah, it just feels like every year, like that tournament is just pure chaos. Like anyone, like it feels like anyone can lose. Like I remember multiple years where like 1 seed has gone down, like multiple top seeds have gone down in the quarterfinals. It just seems like every year, like because that's one of those tournaments that like they play like the first games on campus and then they go to like Cleveland, right, or Indianapolis to play the rest of the year. Yeah, so it just feels like when they have those on-campus games to start the tournament, like we've seen some major upsets over the year, and I don't think this year is going to be any different.
Yeah, let's move on to the next question that we got, which was from Rocco. I'm going to go back to Rocco. He wanted us to spend 2 minutes talking about Robert Morris.
What an awesome job Andy Toole's doing there. They're red hot.
Can I talk about them?
Yeah, go ahead.
I did not know what to expect from Robert Morris this year, but I've watched them a couple times because, well, I watched them against Canisius because obviously I had to. That was early in the year. I've watched a little bit of a couple of their other games, and I'm just really impressed with just a lot of the guys on this team and how they've gotten better. Like obviously everything starts for them with Cam Woods.
Love him.
He's been excellent as a playmaker, but Alvaro Folgueras has gotten significantly better in my eyes. He went from a 43% of the minutes guy to now a 73% of the minutes guy, and he's dominating. He's one of the best players in the Horizon League right now. He had 35 and 10 last week against Northern Kentucky, 18 and 10 against Cleveland State. He hits outside shots. He scores down low. He makes plays all over the floor. There's a Marion Dickerson who's a really tremendous athlete, makes plays all over the floor. Josh Omajafo makes plays all over the floor.
Shout out Gannon University.
Oh, he's a Gannon guy?
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. That's right. I remember looking at this name early in the cycle. I remember looking at this name early in the transfer portal cycle, and I was like, I knew I recognized the name. I knew I recognized the name when he went when I've been watching Robert Morris this year. That's why. And then DJ Smith, who's also given them good production. They're not particularly deep. They don't get a ton from their bench. Like maybe Ismail Plett has had some good games. Ryan Prather has had some good games. But it's mostly the Woods, Folgueras, Dickerson, Omajafo, DJ Smith. And sometimes Prather. But I like what Andy Toole's done. They've won. They were 2-4. Now they're 11-5. This is a program that's kind of been down on its luck the last couple of years. Andy Toole is a terrific coach, but as evidenced by how good he was in the NEC. This is also a really good program at just like their last three coaches: Mark Schmidt, Mike Rice, and now Andy Toole. Mark Schmidt went on to be the Bonaventure coach and be very successful there, as we know. Mike Rice went to, spent 3 years, made 2 tournaments, went to a high major job. We don't need to get into what happened after that.
And he was Duquesne head coach too.
And then Andy Toole, Rice didn't get Rutgers straight from Robert Morris, or
I don't know. It had to be after, I'd assume.
Yeah, he got Rutgers straight from Robert Morris.
Oh, maybe it was his dad. My bad.
And then Andy Toole comes in with Joe Gallo on staff, by the way. Joe Gallo on his staff early in his time. They start running zone a little bit, and that's kind of where Gallo gets it from. And they are 14-2, 14-4, 11, 12-6. He's only made one tournament, Andy Toole, but he had consistently really good teams in the NEC, and it took him a little bit of time in the Horizon League. He lost a decent amount coming into this year, but I think he just did such a good job of developing what he did in terms of Alvaro Folgueras, and he evaluated the portal at such a high level, brought in some really good impact players, and he's probably going to pay the price because I can't imagine Folgueras and Dickerson are there next year, considering how well they've played. And that's not a slight to them, and I hope they do come back. But those are two guys that are playing their way into being at a higher level.
A couple small things I want to touch on. Preseason, I had them not in last place, and people were calling me crazy. I thought it was just a must-win season for Andy Toole, and he's really shown that this year, and it's been really impressive. They started league play. They really struggled. They started 2-4. But then since that, they've won 2, 4, 6, 9 out of 10, and their only loss was to Wright State by 2 at the Nutter Center. And you forgot to mention all that, Sam, that they have maybe the biggest win in NIT history when they hosted Kentucky and John Calipari.
They hosted them.
Awesome.
They hosted them.
They hosted them because
name that Kentucky starting lineup, Jonathan.
Dude, that was the year that Nerlens Noel got hurt. It was a bad Kentucky team.
It was and they couldn't host because the women were good and they were hosting.
Yeah.
I thought they couldn't host because the NCAA tournament was in Lexington.
It was either that or the women.
Okay.
It was both. The Rep Arena was NCAA men's tournament, and I believe the women were hosting as well.
Okay.
Yes, that's right.
So
the women play at a different arena.
Man, that Kentucky team was that an Alex Poitras team?
Yes, Alex Poitras. He played 27 minutes.
And Archie Goodwin, maybe?
Archie Goodwin had that monster dunk in this game.
Marquise Teague wasn't on this team, was he?
No, Marquise Teague was the year before.
Yeah, that's probably. I mean, I already said obviously. All
right, here it is. Julius Mays, Willie Cauley-Stein, Archie Goodwin, Alex Poitras, and Ryan Harrow. Ryan Harrow, Jonathan. Ryan Harrow. Who is that?
Dude, Kyle Wilter was on this team?
Dude, Kyle Wilcher was a McDonald's All-American.
But Robert Morris has struggled since they've come over from the NEC.
Yeah, that's what I said.
They've had injuries. They've had people leave, and now they're finally doing something. So it's awesome. I'm happy for Moon Township. Pittsburgh. Here we go.
Shout out Moon Township. Let's do
it. That Cleveland State win was the first time they've ever beaten Cleveland State, right?
No, it was the first time since in 20 years or something. They put out some crazy stuff.
First time,
but it doesn't really matter because they weren't in the same league forever. So I don't understand.
First time since they joined the Horizon League.
All right.
Yeah.
Next question. What will Maryland Eastern Shore need to do down the stretch to make a push for March? Hey, Ethan Bach. You don't know ball!
They aren't the worst team in the MEAC. Have they played Coppin State? They lost to Coppin State.
They
by
lost
5
home.
goals. That sucks. They'll get them when they come to Princess Anne.
And Coppin State did not have Jonathan Dunn in that game.
I'm excited to see Coppin State and to see him next weekend against Norfolk State.
By the way, nor has Coppin State had Darius Ward since November, nor have they had Ryan Archie since November.
Yeah, they've been pretty.
I think they get a little bit they're terrible, but they get a little bit more of a pass, I think, than Maryland Eastern Shore, who,
that place
by the way,
in the Wild
gets
West.
a pass themselves. A different type of pass, though. They get a pass because they got a new coach and they hired him in like July.
Mm-hmm.
But that gives the coach a pass. It doesn't give the program. It doesn't give the athletic. Why did they wait so long? Cleo Hill was a good coach at Winston-Salem State. I'm pretty sure that's what it was.
Yeah, that was where it was.
But why wait so long
baby.
to hire him?
Because the whole reasoning behind it is because they needed Jason Crafton's no, they needed his contract to just end because they can't pay 2 coaches.
Yeah, they have no money.
They used to have a really good football program back in the day. They were Maryland State. They have a couple of
Oh my God, that's Art Shell.
Yeah.
Art Shell, and there was one and Clarence Clemens. Clarence Clemens.
I don't know who that is. I know Art Shell. I don't know.
You don't know who Clarence Clemens is? I took you to a Bruce Springsteen concert, and you don't know who Clarence Clemens is.
Is he the guy on the guitar or something?
He was the big man on a saxophone who died in 2010. Now his nephew.
Oh yeah, they had that whole thing for him.
Yes.
Ain't that something?
Clarence Clemens.
Shout out Princess Anne.
Shout out.
They got a cookout close to their campus. Cookout's high level.
Ball knower.
Yes,
yeah.
We have so much. Oh, Emerson Boozer was the other guy that was out on that team. Anyway, next up, shout out Ethan Bach for not knowing any ball.
UC run up 9 on Santa Barbara now, by the way. I was talking to Sam before. I thought that Stephen Swanson was going to go crazy.
What does the OVC champ need to do to avoid Dayton? Well, I would say I think if the league finished over 500 in conference play, they would have a good chance.
That is such a bad league. We should call an audible and get Isaac Bourne on here right now so we can talk about the OVC.
At this point, it would be a bunch of straight up bad teams winning their conference for them to avoid Dayton.
Mm-hmm. I really like SIUE. SIUE could end up finishing with 11 losses. But yeah, you need Maryland Eastern Shore, and you need the 8th place team in the SWAC, and Chicago State to make
getting
it.
16 seed in Dayton, regardless. That's it's about getting Cal Poly to win the Big West.
Oh yes, dude, we'd be celebrating on the streets.
That would be electric. Dude, but if Southern ends up winning, Southern could get a 15 seed,
and Pacific to win the WCC.
Or Loyola. Or
can Pacific just play Washington State 5 times in the WCC tournament?
That would be electric. They're their kryptonite.
All right.
San Diego's bad.
It would go better than the last Pacific game in the WCC tournament.
I was thinking about that this week.
Oh, that
was one of the great ones.
What are the odds the Black Bears make their first ever March Madness appearance this year? Personally, I'm all in on the main train. Count me as another member of the main train.
Me too.
But Bryant's really good.
I've been in on Maine since the opening night when they played Duke, but this feels the America East feels more wide open than it has in years.
I don't honestly think it feels that open. I think it's a 2-horse race.
Well, yeah,
Vermont. Some fuckery in
Vermont's hurt.
If Vermont wins the America East tournament, that's all-time voodoo stuff.
Dude, if Vermont wins the America East tournament, just give John Becker an entire room in the Hall of Fame. Like
They could go into Brian and beat 'em.
There's like an exhibit right now at the Hall of Fame. It's the vault. It's like a Celtics only exhibit. Like dedicate that entire exhibit to John Becker if Vermont wins the America East tournament.
I was watching Binghamton tonight.
What'd you say?
I was watching Binghamton tonight. They lost, but I feel like they could be a team like a 6-7 seed that wins a game in the conference tournament or the playoff they call it.
Because Vermont will not have TJ Long or Shai Odom for the rest of the year.
I don't know if that's true.
Well,
I'm putting my hands up.
Look,
I'm going to be on that boat right now. I'm sorry.
I trust Evan.
He texts me every day. Shout out Evan Applebum.
Really?
Yeah.
He's a good guy. I trust his sources.
I need to hear it from Vermont.
If he's wrong, he's wrong. Regardless, Shamir Bogues has been inconsistent.
I will never count out Vermont. I've learned my lesson.
Look, there's
give it to NJIT. Grant Bill Myers going to win it all. He's a great big man coach.
They're not even going to make the tournament.
No, UNH won't make the tournament.
UNH is 2 games up on NJIT.
Really now. Sammy Pissis. Shout out. You got a ball to the face last week.
That dude's a baller. Unfortunately, that team has no other ones.
No, he's not. He's not.
Comparably.
Look at it. Look at his advanced analytics stats. All that he's.
Look at the shot load that he's taking on.
I feel like I'm attacking a lot of people right now. I don't know how Nathan Davis has a head coaching job.
I thought like last season, like I saw them a couple times and I liked them. Like I legitimately liked them when I saw them in person. I thought Ahmad Robinson was amazing.
Oh, he's awesome.
I don't know how he didn't end up higher than Mercer.
He had to have some kind of relationship with Ryan Ritter.
Hey, Ryan Ritter's getting some really good stuff out of him. 17, 5, 5.
The other thing is they pay everyone the same amount at Mercer, so it's not like he was getting paid like more than anyone else.
Okay, moving on. But I like Maine. Maine is a sick defensive team. They grind and grind and grind. They are a really frustrating team to play against. It's just that I think Bryant is too athletic for this league.
Yeah,
like Albany is they lost to Albany, but like Albany's a really athletic team for this league. Like they have
shout out to Albany.
Like I don't think Albany's that good, but they have athletes. Like they have Amari Marshall is a really good athlete. DeMar Langford's a really good athlete. Kasper Klejcek is a good size. He can move. Briggs is a good athlete. Neely's a good athlete. Like they have good athletes on that roster. So like they can play with Bryant athletically. And on a day where Bryant doesn't make shots and can't get anything going inside, even when Bryant blocks 15 shots were blocked in that game by the Bulldogs, and they lost.
Shout out to them. They were my sleeper coming into the year. They beat Bryant a week ago, Albany. They beat Bryant a week ago at Bryant. We were just talking down in Vermont, but that's still a really difficult team to play. They only lost by 6. And then tonight, they blew a lead, and they ended up gritting it out at Lowell in overtime. Because really, really struggled this year, and I still think that they could be maybe a sleeper. They may finish 6th in the league and end up going to the 3 seed and 1. But I think Albany's. I think, like Jonathan said, this league's wide open. I really think anyone 1 through 7 could realistically, outside 1 through 6, don't count UMBC in that. 1 through 6 has a chance to do something.
Yeah. Do you think there's a chance UMBC has will have a new coach next year?
Yeah, there's nothing like solidified or anything, but they have a new AD. Jim Ferry struggled.
They've gotten worse every year.
Yeah,
that he's been there,
which is a testament to what Ryan Odom did there and how great of a coach he is.
Yeah, Odom was awesome. Mm-hmm. Moving on, Any chance for an at-large team out of the Big West? Hell yeah!
Definitely.
Like, the bubble sucks this year. Like, straight up sucks. UC Irvine and UC San Diego are better than, like, UCF. They're better than UNC.
Mhm.
Like, there's no reason why we can't have a two-bid Big West if those teams.
Here comes Santa Barbara.
Okay, there's one reason we can't have a two-bid Big West.
I like UC San Diego more than Irvine, but I think they're both really good.
I think Irvine has certain matchups that they can exploit in Mizzou.
Yeah, you're big on that one. You love Irvine against Mizzou. I think UC San Diego can just shoot the lights out against everyone, and they're doing the thing where,
like, that's the thing. Like, a lot of teams can shoot the lights out.
yeah. I think Aniwa Tate Jones is kind of hard to guard down low.
Yeah, but like, look, I think there's like a distinct, like they're a lot better, but like Tate Jones is very AJ Mitchell like. Just like if you just look at his, obviously they're not exactly the same, but like statistically their profiles are very similar. 6'5", 6'6" guards that get that do a lot of their work in the mid range in the paint. Don't hit a lot of outside shots, but can really play make. I think the difference between that Santa Barbara team and this San Diego team is that there's much better outside shooting and team defense for this San Diego team. So I think they're more well-rounded.
Steph Swenson's doing what I said he wasn't doing about 10 minutes ago.
Swenson rocks, by the way.
He's awesome. Stetson Hatter, A-Sun guy.
Man, Stetson won the A-Sun last year for a reason. Jalen Blackman, Steven Swenson. Those two guys are awesome.
Yeah. They're struggling this year.
They had another guy last year too, right?
Like a third couple. They have the kid that's at Auburn Gadarazzi, who's at Utah
Yes,
State.
Auburn. I like Auburn. I just forgot that he was. That's who it was that I was thinking. Predictions
Miles Che's great. I love Miles Che.
Yes, Miles Che rocks. Predictions for who will win their conference tournament: Sunbelt, Summit, Horizon, A East. Do you have a crystal ball? I don't know, but let me see. Like, I don't know what the bracket. Like, I don't like making predictions for tournaments before I see a bracket. If I'm going to be honest with you.
Run through the league.
We could
one
say
by
like
one.
who the best teams are in those leagues.
Yeah.
Okay, let's do it.
What was the first one?
Let me pull it up.
Sunbelt, right?
Sunbelt, yeah,
Who's
Sunbelt.
Sunbelt? A State.
Arkansas State.
Yeah, A State. Summit. South Dakota State.
Thomas.
I'm gonna say St. Thomas.
I'm just gonna go South Dakota State in like they just pounded St. Thomas.
I feel like St. Thomas could beat him, and it'd be one of the. I hate when this happens.
Like, oh yeah, they could totally beat him. They did beat him, but like I think South Dakota State is better.
Yeah.
I do think though that's an interesting matchup for Clough.
Mm-hmm.
He has not played well in either of the games. He had 13, 19, and 7 in the first matchup, but like Oscar Clough only taking 7 shots is not how this team wins.
Because St. Thomas plays their big man so high up.
Yeah.
They almost like run through him. He's only a sophomore. And I can't really see him leaving there. So they have 2 more years.
Bjerke can play.
Yeah, Bjerke, yeah.
Horizon. Honestly, Milwaukee.
Yeah, I was gonna say Milwaukee. I'll still be on the Milwaukee train.
Like, I think they're the most talented team. I don't think they're gonna I don't know if they're gonna win it, but like I think they're the most talented team. Don't sleep on Oakland, by the way.
Yeah.
Like Oakland is
17.
like very slightly coming back and towards like the norm shooting. They could not make a shot for the first 3 months of the season. They're starting to make shots. They've hit double-digit threes in 3 of their last 5 games. 4 of their last 7. Very slowly coming back to hitting the normal amount of threes. And they have Buru and Mukeba, who are two post guys at 6'6" who can really play. The problem is this team has absolutely they don't have any size north of that.
Mukeba's fun.
Yes, he is.
I'm with you guys. Milwaukee for me as well.
And A East, Bryant is the best team.
Yeah.
Give me Binghamton.
Give
From the
me
clouds.
Binghamton or give me death.
1 through 6 is going to be wild this year.
Yeah,
It's going to be wild this year, and then
fun.
next year Vermont's going to
really
go
fun,
18
though. I've
and
seen them like 4 or 5 times in person.
I love Gavin Walsh.
Yes, Gavin Walsh rocks. Chris Walker is really good. They only play like 5 guys.
Yeah.
All right, Nick, Jonathan, Marist or Merrimack on Sunday?
Where's it at?
Merrimack.
Marist is really hurt right now.
Yeah, they're down 2 bigs.
But if you think I'm picking against my Foxes, you're out of your mind.
Shout out Art Himmelberger.
All right. We've got. How are my Hampton Fighting Pirates shaping up for the deep CAA tournament run, Adam? Jonathan,
Huge win today against Drexel.
They've won 3 of their last 4.
All right.
One of them was a non-con game.
And then finally, what are your thoughts on Arizona's recent loss to Kansas State? And how do you think they fare against Houston on Saturday?
Not a question for me.
Yeah, no. Never mind. Sleeper in the CAA. I said Monmouth.
I agree with you, Sam.
Just because of the shooting.
Yeah, I agree. Let's do some thinking. William and Mary still kind of a sleeper. They're 5.
No, they're not a sleeper.
I think Elon could make the semifinals.
Good defensively with the zone.
Yeah, they can make the semifinals.
Elon, but like here's the thing. I think Elon is like built to be a better non-conference team than conference team, especially if you get deep into conference play and teams have scouted the zone.
Yeah.
So I think Elon goes out first round.
What are they at, 6 right now?
Yeah.
That means they would probably play like Hampton. They lost to Hampton, I know. No, they lost to A&T tonight. Shout out A&T.
Yeah, shout out A&T winning without Landon Glasper and Ryan Forrest.
Yeah.
You know who was Ken Pom game MVP for them tonight, Jonathan?
For who?
A&T.
Oh, was it that dude from Maryland?
Yep, Jonathan Lamont. All right, with that, anything else? Anybody else got anything to add? I think that we're making good time right now.
I would like Nick to address this.
Yes. I think they lose in the first round. I don't think they play with any effort at all, and they play in a soft American where they win games. I think they lose in the first round. They'll be a 7th seed. They'll lose to a 10 seed. Mark that down. Memphis is not winning a game in the NCAA tournament.
Jonathan, would you like to take us home?
If you came to hear about Tyler Self and where he works, you came to the right place. If you came to hear about Binghamton's chances to win the America East tournament, you came to the right place. And if you came to hear about Caleb Grill and the latest happenings with him, you came to the right place. This has been Season 5, Episode 62 of Brackets, Bubbles, and Bid Stealers, and we'll see you next time.